Welcome to Mythic Lore. Let's get started.
Do you know what it feels like to be born for someone else's sin? Stay until the end, and I'll tell you the truth. The truth no hero song ever dared to sing. They say when I opened my eyes, I screamed so loud that the walls of the labyrinth cracked. But that's not true. You've heard the story, haven't you? King Minos of Crete, the mighty, the blessed, chosen by Poseidon himself. The sea god gave him a snow-white bull to sacrifice. But Minos, greedy little man that he was, thought he could trick a god. He kept the bull for himself. Never cheat the gods. They don't forget. So Poseidon made sure his queen, Pasiphae, would love that bull instead. Not admire, not respect, love. And from that love came me. Half man, half beast, all mistake. People like to whisper, was it his fault? Let me ask you something. If you were made from someone else's punishment, would you still call yourself human? When I was young, they tried to keep me in the palace, but the king couldn't stand the sight of me. So he called for a craftsman, Daedalus, the genius with clever hands. He built me a home of corridors and walls, a home with no doors. They called it the labyrinth. It was beautiful in its way, twisting, breathing, alive. Every turn whispered secrets. Every tunnel promised escape, but none let out. I grew up in the dark. My mother's voice was the last human sound I ever heard. They say she used to visit. I don't remember her face anymore. Only her tears. Funny, isn't it? You cry long enough, and even monsters learn to laugh at their pain. Time passed. People forgot my name. But every year, I heard the ships. 7 boys, 7 girls, all from Athens. Minos demanded them as tribute for his dead son. And what did he do with them? He sent them to me. They say I devoured them. Do you believe that? That I ate them all? Would you? Maybe you would. I certainly looked the part. Claws, fangs, rage. But have you ever seen someone starve in a maze? They screamed for days before I even reached them. Sometimes I ended it quickly. Sometimes I didn't, because the walls were hungry too, and their fear, it tasted better than flesh. Still here? Good. You'll want to hear how it ends. Then came him, the hero, Theseus. You probably know him as a brave prince, a man of destiny, the god's favorite toy. When I first smelled him, he didn't smell like fear. He smelled like sunlight, like the world above, like freedom, and with him came a girl, Ariadne, Minos' own daughter. She gave him a thread to find his way out. Clever. I liked her for that. You ever notice how humans never fight fair? Always need a god's gift, or a lover's help. But I was tired of running. Tired of being the shadow people whispered about. He came at me with a sword, shining, beautiful, perfect. I didn't roar, I didn't fight. I just stood there. One clean strike, that's all it took. They say the labyrinth collapsed when I died. Maybe it did. Or maybe it finally sighed in relief, because it was tired of keeping a monster inside. You want to know the truth? Here it is. I never hated him. I envied him. He got to leave. I never did. Remember what I said at the start, that I tell you what it's like to be born for someone else's sin? It feels like this. You scream, but the walls eat the sound. You dream, but the dark eats the dream. And when the hero kills you, the world cheers, and no one asks why you were there in the first place. But that's okay, because every maze has 2 sides. You think Theseus escaped? Oh no, he's still running through mine, every night, in his dreams. And that is the story they won't tell you. But me, I'm just getting started, because some say my maze never truly ended. And sometimes, when the moon is full and the world is quiet, you can still hear my hooves echoing through the dark. But that wasn't even my final form. You'll see soon enough.
If you've walked this far into the shadows of legend, leave your mark, like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which myth should we awaken next?